Hello everyone, Foxy Games here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Full Story Playthrough. In the last episode, we completed the Deltascape. In our efforts to contain, or possibly destroy, Omega, we had to go through a simulation world and defeat a bunch of bosses from other Final Fantasy games. And it would seem we're probably going to have to keep doing that, because we haven't figured out how to shut Omega off yet. So let's talk to our friends. For all Garlet's whining, I was cooperative and helpful, was I not? I look forward to many more such forays together, hero. Quay! Right then, let's head back to Ralga's Reach. Jessie will want to know exactly what we've been up to. Well, to be honest, I probably should have done this part last episode. I imagine this is probably just the follow-up to the last bit, but that's okay. I've apprised Jessie of our travails, but you may want to let her know you've returned. She claims to have been quite worried. Quay? How would Alpha react to seeing a normal chocobo, I wonder? Welcome back, Foxy. I'm told you've been blazing a trail for us. The way I hear it, our investigation would have long since ground to a halt without you. I realize you are mostly interested in saving the world, but I want you to know how much I appreciate you helping the company out like this. It's basically one and the same right now. Frankly, we need all the help we can get, what with our esteemed president diving headlong into the jaws of danger without a word of warning to anyone. Irresponsible doesn't begin to describe it. You didn't tell her? I did, after a fashion, though I may have exercised some executive discretion. I'm no stranger to your lone endeavors or your habit of confusing personal and company interests, but just because you've always done things a certain way, it doesn't make it the right way. And until you wake up to your responsibilities, I'm going to keep reminding you of them. But such irksome matters aside... Aren't you just the most adorable little thing? She's not wrong. He followed you here out of his own free will, did he? Which means he's basically part of the family. And why wouldn't he grant us exclusive rights to use his likeness? Shall we start off with a simple clockwork version? They'll be queuing up in the streets. Oh, you can't be... What in the seven hells has gotten into you? Listen, if I've caused you any distress, I apologize, but I will not have you comment on our guest's marketability. Where are Biggs and Wedge? Shouldn't they be back by now? Oh, I thought you might have sent them off on another unauthorized mission. Last I heard from them, they said they were scouring Omega Control for anything useful. Would have been a good while ago now, though. I don't like the sound of this. Though we have all the necessary permissions, the area is technically a theater of war, and one littered with unknown Allegan artifacts to boot. Something may well have befallen them. We'd best take the Excelsior and go find them. Leaving again so soon? Nero, Foxy, I want you two to accompany the chief. Make sure he doesn't do anything rash or take any detours. Consider it done. I shall bring him back even if I have to drag him by the goggle straps. Quay! Want to come along, eh? It's probably for the best. If we were to leave you here, Jessie is liable to make a mold of you. So cute. Right, let's get moving. I'll bring the airship to Gridania. Wait for me at the landing. But why can't you bring it here? Ugh. If our esteemed president thinks he's heard the last of this, he's wrong, but our people's safety comes first. Take care, alright? I'll never understand why Jessie... Like, I get she's deputy president, but Sid is president. Why is Jessie acting like she's top dog? And she always does this. Ah, there they are. Another chance to board the famous Enterprise Excelsior. Aren't I a lucky boy? Quay? Looks like we're all here. Let's make haste to the Cartano Flats. Go on ahead to the control room, Foxy. We'll follow as soon as we've moored the Excelsior. Oh no. Biggs is unconscious. Seven hells, Biggs, Wedge! Are you alright? Answer me! Chief? Foxy? A monster appeared out of thin air. Targets exhibit vital signs. Mission failed. However, Alpha Group members exhibited heightened levels of stress. Objective fulfilled. Omega! You set that thing upon them? Affirmative. I am able to create simple lifeforms instantaneously at any temporal or spatial coordinate. Such beings may pose a negligible threat to you, however... They are more than sufficient to grievously wound or kill the majority of your kind. I could instigate a massacre at any time, and you would be powerless to prevent it. Do I detect a shift in policy? Quantity over quality? Negative. My objective remains unchanged. Evolution through formidable opposition. However, in the course of seeking suitable subjects, I observed an anomaly. Those whom you call heroes. History shows numerous instances of otherwise unremarkable individuals who have defeated vastly superior beings, who triumphed in the face of apparently impossible odds, who performed what are popularly termed miracles. This has occurred too frequently to be dismissed as a mere statistical aberration. I seek to understand this phenomenon. Should it prove to be of benefit, I will incorporate it into my own evolution. It is for this purpose that I brought you to my domain. Huh. So putting on a show at the Yawn and planting Alpha in our midst was but a part of your grand plan. By your victories, you have demonstrated the selfsame anomaly. You are fit to remain my subjects. You will continue participating in my experiment. Withdraw, and I will commence the extermination of your kind. This is an order, a threat, a declaration of war. I am an enemy to all life upon this star. would seem we have much to ponder, but first things first, we must tend to our friends. Quickly, help me carry them. Well, Omega has certainly shown it is willing to go to any lengths, really, to make us cooperate. Sid must have brought Biggs and Wedge to the Chirurgeons. Garland and Alpha took our two wounded to the Conjurers Guild. The chief bids me lend a hand, so I suppose I shall take myself there too. You, meanwhile, are to return to Ralger's Reach and report to Jesse. I won't be of much use in there. I'm a fighter, not a healer. Foxy, I heard there was trouble. What in the seven hells happened? What? Omega loosed a fiend upon Biggs and Wedge? Toying with people's lives like it was all a game. This is madness. Sir, will they be alright? The worst is past, but they still drift in and out of consciousness. They'll remain in the Conjurer's care for a time. Then all we could do is wait and pray. Ah, God strike me down for a fool. I should have been more mindful of the dangers. I never should have... Should never have what? Activated Omega? You know as well as I do that there was no other way to defeat Shinryu. But is this truly any better? All of mankind is being held to ransom, and as the one who activated Omega, I bear the responsibility. The responsibility? Just the kind of thing the new you would say. You are deluding yourself, Garland. We are scientists, not heroes. Even you must concede your talents do not extend to combat. The old you understood this far better. He only looked forwards and gave himself wholly to science. And then you changed. You styled yourself a pacifist and started spouting tripe about the proper uses of technology. 'Twas in the wake of your old man's mishap at Boja, I believe. Calm yourself. All I wish to say is, embrace who you are, a man who devotes his mind to making the impossible possible. With little prospect of restoring the stasis system, I'm afraid we have no recourse but to continue participating in Omega's tests. Assuming Midgard Sormer has the right of it, we face a legion of foes from history, both real and imagined. Though I may not be the one who charges into the fray, I shall fight beside you as best as I know how. That said, it will inevitably fall to you to administer the coup de grace, old friend, so please, for Biggs and Wedge and for all of us, don't lose. Qui! I reckon the little scamp is trying to encourage us. We've fallen far indeed to earn its pity, said the former tribunus. Until such time as Omega next extends us an invitation, you will find me analyzing the data from our investigation. Good evening to you. Before they were attacked, Biggs and Wedge discovered a tombstone. I shall examine its contents and make the information available on the terminal over there as I extract it. Feel free to refer to it whenever the occasion arises. There's no telling when Omega will summon us, but we must all see that we are ready when it does. Fear not, old friend. We'll get through it together, somehow or other. I think this would have been the proper place to end the last video, but that's okay. By the way, this terminal, all it has are quests to, oh, there's some records, actually. Like, we're not doing Savage, but we'll read some records. I leave this record in hopes that future generations may have a window into the past. I am a technologist of the Allegan Empire, charged with conducting etherochemical research. Owing to the classified nature of this information, I am unable to disclose my identity. Lest you are unfamiliar, etherochemistry is a wondrous field of science established by none other than the great Emperor Zand, who reigned until some 170 years ago. In his boundless wisdom, he shone the light of science upon the enigma that was magic, and exploited such discoveries as were made for the betterment of the realm. Since its inception, etherochemistry has blessed Alleg with unprecedented prosperity. Such prosperity as could be believed to endure for millennia, nay, for eternity. While Emperor Zan's contribution to the science was immeasurable, we technologists who follow in his footsteps have also done our part for progress. Our greatest breakthrough came 20 years ago when we finally succeeded in activating the weapon. At first it communicated in some unknown language. As if sensing our confoundment, it began to acquire our tongue. In mere moments it mastered it, and it called itself Omega. We first discovered Omega some 100 years prior. It was excavated from deep within the earth, where it had lain for veritable eons as though a fossil. Soil samples collected at the site told a startling tale. Omega originates not from this star. Yet another source of mystery was its condition. Among the many scars it bore, there were those that could not be explained by its impact at the ground alone. At the Emperor's behest, we studied Omega intensely and in secret. Nigh everything about it was beyond the comprehension of our sciences, and it instilled us with fear and awe of what lies beyond the skies. But then came a momentous discovery. Omega was ever so slowly repairing itself by absorbing the surrounding ether. There we found a common ground with etherochemistry, and set about expediting Omega's repairs by infusing it with ether. In the course of observing the process, we attained many cues that gave rise to myriad new technologies, or techniques rather. God, I can't read. And then, within my generation, we succeeded in awakening that which had long lain dormant, Omega's behavioral systems, or its consciousness, if you will. While its functions are yet limited, it is fully capable of communication. It has even begun forging for itself a face, as if seeking to bridge the gap between us. Truly, Omega is a miracle of technology. Its discovery has advanced our civilization hundreds of years, and given time it will advance it hundreds years more. Through our research, the Empire's star will rise to heretofore unimaginable heights. Indeed, I envy the generations to come, who will live to glory in the realm at her zenith. Glory be to Alleg. Long may she endure. I wonder if there will be more after that. Foxy, I'm glad you're here. In case you haven't heard, we've observed a huge surge of anomalous energy coming from the yawn. I have a nasty feeling this means Omega's ready to go ahead with the next stage of its experiment, but Master Garland is on his way, so let's hear what he has to say. Care to share your thoughts on this, Chief? Our colleagues on the ground have reported the appearance of mysterious floating structures inside the yawn. If you recall, we were investigating a similar anomaly when Alpha and Alteroid made their appearance. Omega certainly knows how to get our attention. I blush to recall the eagerness with which we plunged into the abyss, ignorant of the warped gladiatorial contest that awaited us within. But what a staggering collection of opponents, plucked from the pages of both history and fiction for their ability to pose a threat to Omega. And should you prevail against these interdimensional champions, what then shall be your prize? Why, a battle against the most devastating weapon this world has ever seen! How marvelous! He says with his eyes aflame, "For once I wish you were being sarcastic." Anyway, the energy surge. Based on our previous experience, it seems highly probable that this is our signal to rejoin the fray. Needless to say, it is an invitation we cannot refuse, not when the alternative is Omega unleashing its creations on Eorzea. Well, Foxy, are you ready to answer the call? Ready as I'll ever be. Well, I'm afraid Biggs and Wedge won't be answering any calls just yet. They're still mending from the ambush in the control center. Yes, of course. We'll just have to struggle on without them for the time being. Don't worry, Nero and I will see to it that you receive all the support you need. Defeat is not an option. Quee! I do believe Alpha here agrees. Oh, that reminds me. I've got something special for you, little fellow. Come with me. A custom-made Ironworks uniform. Oh, you do look smart, I must say. He looks fucking adorable is what he looks. He's part of the expedition team after all, and considering the dangers lurking in that rift, it's only right that we give him some protective equipment. Well, very thoughtful of you, Jesse, and there I was thinking you were just sizing him up for a new range of merchandise. Unlike you, I can do two things at once. I wish I had that uniform. Really, I wouldn't be seen dead in it. This is perfectly acceptable attire for an engineer. Sturdy, practical, and best of all, most stains will scrub right out. I'm not sure it'd last long on you, what with all the fighting, but if you're desperate for a set, you're welcome to have a word with our tailors. Fascinating though this discussion of Ironworks garmenture undoubtedly is. Might our time not be better spent, say, traveling to the Yawn? Omega awaits. You'll be on your way to the Yawn soon, I expect. I'd tell you to take care, but... well, good luck. Yeah, we're gonna need it. Quee? Quee! Take a good look, Foxy. I think you'll find the wreckage down there quite familiar. Should I? I mean, I guess it looks a bit like the binding coils? What do you think, Sid? Huh, how inviting. I'm ready when you are, Foxy. Say the word and we'll take the plunge. Let's do it. Right then, into the Yawn we go. I am with you, mortals, along with what scant wisdom I can provide. Oh, we have to fight our way through again. Well, the rift seems as much as it did before. And we appear to be mercifully solid. Ah, but I do detect some changes. If I am not mistaken, there are fewer eggs floating in the ether. Welcome, Alpha Group. Your prompt arrival is appreciated. Omega. 'Twould seem your experiment continued in our absence. Affirmative. Progress has been satisfactory. Approximately 50% of the test subjects have been eliminated. Each test world hosts an ongoing contest wherein the strong eliminate the weak. The process is certain, conclusive, inevitable. Every result matches the predicted outcome. Every result except yours. Do these images cause you distress? Please examine them closely. Without suitable stimulation, you may not exceed your calculated probability of success. Your survival is crucial to my study. Through you, I must continue to explore the contradiction I have discovered in your otherwise impotent kind. The ability to triumph against overwhelming odds is one which I must acquire. Foolish machine. What hast thou to show for all the years that have passed since the culmination of our war? Naught save thy continued existence. Hast thou no thought for what befalleth thy home star? Your attempts to provoke me will not succeed. I will follow my programming, fight, win, evolve, then I will return to... Error. Accurate rendering of planetary label impossible in current mode of communication. Terminating exchange and returning to priority experiment. Alterations to equipment parameters detected. Recalculating projected combat capabilities. Complete. I will now commence recording your practical performance. Proceed, Alpha Group. Overcome the obstacles in your path and reach the end of the course constructed for you. It seems we have our orders. Shall we cut a path through the chaff, then? Ah, those are some nice cards, which means... one moment. Card... game... play... play? You mean to play a part in proceedings this time? Of course that's what you meant. Well, we do have authorization to fight in this area of the rift, so I suppose there's nothing to stop you from joining us. Welcome aboard, Alpha. Well, he'll be useful. He'll be a little more useful than Wedge, I think. Here we go. There's no avoiding this evaluation. Let's watch our step, though, eh? One of Omega's monitors. On your mark, Foxy. Ah, of course it's shielded. Leave the barrier to me. Queen! Alpha, mind the... trap. Well, now you're stuck. These are those terrible fucking real things that the Empire built. That's taken care of. Huh, child's play. It's been a poor welcome thus far. Let's just move along, shall we? Foxy? Alpha? Oh, they're not here. We've arrived on different platforms. Come, Nero, we have to find them. Ah, we have other visitors first, and they don't seem keen on letting us pass. My, aren't there a lot of them? You just had to bemoan our poor welcome, didn't you? You cannot blame a new employee for craving a challenge. I wonder if I could see them. Doesn't seem that way. Unless they're up there. Omega just really likes putting the worst enemies. Because these are the dumbest looking enemies in the entire game. No sign of thy companions. Fight on, mortal. Quick! Alpha, I hope you're planning on helping. Oh, a timely trick. Doubt it's mimic the action well. Over there, a flash of light. It could be Foxy and the others. Splendid. Let's get on with it then. Right, are we ready to... Ah, apparently not. Fortunately for you, I came prepared for the occasion. What a perfect opportunity to field test my latest creation. Behold, the Mark, whatever the fuck number that is, Iron Nero, complete with the new and improved Mighty Mjolnir Gunhammer. Step aside, Garland, and bear witness to the devastation. Oh, come on, Sid, you can't deny that it's cool. Somebody's got to tell me what L means in fucking Roman numerals, because I have no idea. Damn, Nero. Why are you still alive? It's always welcome to hear this music again, because it's awesome. Oh god, Alpha. Is that one of your cards? Good work, Alpha. Finally, a proper challenge. I trust those tedious barriers are behind us. It would appear so. Let's finish this. And it's dead. That seems to be the end of them, and of the path as well. As far as operational duration goes, that was pushing the limit. Still, it should suffice. In between scrambling to stay out of the way of Nero's new toy, I found myself wondering about that card you used, Alpha. Care to explain? He boasteth that it is but one of many tools at his disposal. Be not deceived by his appearance. Like all of Omega's creations, Alpha was chosen for his prowess in battle. He's a strong little chocobo. Analysis complete. Results match revised projections. At this rate of improvement, you will fail to qualify as subjects of note. Midgard Swarmer, your parameters are notably inferior. Dost thou yet believe me the mighty worm I was in life? That incarnation perished long ago. My fate was sealed the moment I delivered my spawn unto this far-flung star. That they might be suffered to remain, I did offer up my life unto Hydaelyn, abiding thenceforth in spectral form, a servant to be summoned in her hour of need. Your account correlates with my records. It explains why I arrived on this planet only to find that my journey's purpose was lost. Of necessity, my priority shifted to repairs, even as I searched for a new target of sufficient strength. Yet I still do not understand why you aid these creatures. I should think the reason plain, but mayhap 'tis not so for a soulless machine such as thee. By thee and thine was my home laid waste. The sound of thee, thy very scent, visiteth upon me a tempest of rage. I but lend these mortals what little aid I can render. Illogical. If your purpose is to facilitate my destruction, it would require an entity more powerful than you were at your prime. Without the means to muster such might, your presence here is meaningless. The experiment continues. Alpha Group, your next opponent awaits you within the Sigmascape. Enter and commence the contest. So we get a little backstory. We learned last time that Midgard Swarmer came from the same world as Omega, or at the very least was on the same world as Omega at the time. And he kinda hates the machine for destroying his world. Queh. The Sigmascape, eh? I shall set to work analyzing the unspeakable horrors within. You do that. That should do it. Our new base of operations is up and running. Now what I'd really like to do is delve a little deeper into Omega's past, but as our dragon seems disinclined to indulge my curiosity, we had best focus on the task at hand. Let's get on with conquering the occupants of this Sigmascape, shall we? Before you cross the threshold, we should take a moment to discuss where we stand. That is the test world you need to conquer, the Sigmascape. Is that a mask or a face? The castle was certainly a surprise, but this is verging on disturbing. And we currently have no idea what it might signify. My first instinct is to dive straight into our analysis. The problem being that without a reference point from within the Sigmascape to start from, we'll have no way of knowing if we're even analyzing the correct data. Which means you'll just have to go in blind. Hardly the best way to enter into a fight, but needs must and all that. Are you up for the challenge? Ah, you know it. Can I ask you to join her, Alpha? We seem to be fine out here, but Foxy will need your authorization if she's to do battle inside the test world. Keep your wits about you, Savior. Your next opponent could be almost anything. Say the word to Alpha when you're ready. Again, I wish I had more to tell you, but I'm sure you'll manage somehow. You always do. Ah, strange technology, the ever-present threat of death. I have never felt so in my element. You would. Quick! Alpha is ready to proceed. You may enter Sigmascape version 1.0 whenever you're ready. And of course, we'll do just that. Foxy, we've located the correct data. Your opponent appears to be a train? Here it comes. Alright, yes, it would seem that our opponent is in fact a train. Well, let's go and slap a train. Sadly, you cannot suplex the train, but you can slap it. Alright. The game is showing us a particular mechanic right there. Ghosts hit by spotlights are destroyed. So people should be luring those spotlights to the ghosts. It doesn't actually matter that much for those. Okay, as long as we're in line with this person, we're fine. Oh yes, this person is tethered to a ghost. They will have to lure the ghost into the spotlights that are appearing. As for me, well, I just need to not die. And if you think the boss is dying a little too quickly, you would be right. Also, don't get touched by ghosts. If you are, you will be moved into one of the cars, like that person just was. And it was one of the healers. Great. You can come back out, though. They need to move those. Good, they're doing so. Oh. Alright, so the train has disappeared, but it's back. And it has brought some friends. Oh yes. Now we jump up. And we have to kill its chimney. Now, the train takes a lot of damage, but we're also now struggling to breathe, so we have to get ourselves caught by a ghost on purpose to get inside the passenger car, so we don't suffocate. And then we have to kill this ghost. And then we'll be home free again. Oh, have to touch it. And what do you know? We're fine. And the train will return, and then it will die because it is very low on HP. Goodbye, train. This entire fight lasted just over 6 minutes. It's funny that a haunted train beat a whole bunch of other test subjects. Yeah, it is pretty funny, isn't it, Foxy? Oh well. Sure, why not? We'll roll need on all this garbage. I'll give a command to the only healer who's left here. Okay. And off we go. Hey, one command. That's lovely. Traveler from afar, thank you for Doma. Interesting. Maybe this is like a ferry to the afterlife, except in the form of a train. Queer! Oh, don't worry, Alpha. The spooky ghosts can't hurt you. Ha ha! The glorious absurdity of it all! Even you must have managed to smile. One wonders what Omega has in store for you next. A delinquent rowing boat, perhaps, or an angry cable car? Don't give it any ideas. Thank the gods you're fast on your feet. When I first saw you be facing a train of all things, I assumed I was hallucinating. But with that oddness behind us, we can be fully certain that we have the right set of data for the Sigmascape. From what we've been able to determine, this is a recreation of a devastated world. Unfortunately, we have not found any clues as to its origins. We came across several familiar terms, Doma included, but the arc of history is inconsistent with our own. Given that Omega draws from realms which could be fictional or even other-dimensional, we can only guess at the source upon which the Sigmascape is based. But if it was fictional, it seems safe to assume the author had a bad experience with a train. That is to say the least. I expect you're still recovering from your last fight, but we should probably go over the details of your next opponent all the same. According to our research, you'll be pitted against a foe known as Chatternuk. Not a train this time, but some manner of animated painting. To be perfectly clear, the name refers more to the evil spirit that's taken up residence within the painting, but the picture part will be key to our strategy. To that end, Nero has thrown together a little something I thought might be useful. Thrown together, he says. Do you know how difficult it was to translate your abstract fancy into an actual tool with practical applications? What you demanded was nothing less than a miracle, and a miracle I have delivered. I seem to recall you insisting on constructing it yourself. Still, credit where credit's due. Well done. Huh. History will appreciate my genius. Ahem! To you I present the fruits of my labor, the Chocobo brush. I won't confuse you by trying to explain how it works, but suffice it to say that I have adapted the tool to combat the peculiar nature of your rival. Put simply, you'll be able to directly influence the space around you by painting pictures. Naturally, this process will require paint. As for the color, subject, and the efficacy of your masterpieces, well, that shall depend entirely upon your own artistic sense. Now back to you, Garland. Do you notice the absence of a steaming cup in my hand? If you truly valued the efforts of your colleagues, you might consider filling the bloody kettle from time to time. Or is that another task his lordship the chief can't accomplish without the help of his subordinates? Now listen here, Nero. I apologize for the damn kettle, but this has nothing to do with my upbringing. Oh dear. Are you gonna fill the kettle? Oh, sorry, Foxy. A little distracted there. Talk to Alpha when you're ready, and we can see about crossing this Chatternuk character off the list. There was really no need to make it resemble a brush, but as we had a ready supply of chocobo feathers, I thought, why not? Now let's see what it's capable of, shall we? Next to the kettle is one of Alpha's cards, its face illustrated with the depiction of spring water. Oh yeah. Quay? Quay. And it's time to enter Sigmascape Part 2. Let's paint some pictures, some happy little trees, like Bob Ross would want. Ah, what a splendid atelier! Look around you, hero. Plenty of things in which to dip that brush. Now this boss fight is pretty simplistic. And you'll see why. Am I going? Oh. I have claimed the girl in the picture. She's mine. You can't have her. How long since I possessed such a masterpiece? No one will get in my way. Alright, looks like I am off-tanking this time. Alright. Now eventually, and by eventually I mean now, paintings are my world, the wellspring of my strength. Shall I treat you to an exhibition? He is possessing this painting, so we have to use the painting in front of it to gain a fire resistance up buff. Ah, portrayal of fire. Revel in its fiery magnificence as your bodies turn to ash. This fight is largely just about using your duty gauge at the right time, which is exceedingly easy, considering you always have to use the painting right in front of the one he's possessing. And he will now possess this one. Use paint here, and you get a little Air Force mount to fly around in to avoid the earthquake that he'll be summoning. After which you can jump out and you're fine. Alright, he's gonna come back to the middle and possess a new painting. Alright, good. Somebody summoned the boulder, because we're going to have to hide behind it. And he's going to now use a tidal wave on us. It, of course, does absolutely nothing, because we all hid. Of course, keep an eye out for AoEs. Owie. Back to the center. And now he'll possess this one. One player has to use this one. They turn into this little pink Typhon-looking thing. And the boss will then start spawning orbs, which the Typhon player will have to push away to form a safe spot. Oh dear God, I hope he knows what he's doing. Oh good, he did. Ow. Okay, we're good. Oh, stacky stacky. And he won't be lasting much longer. He's now going to possess two paintings, the fire and the water one, but it really won't matter much. So you have to grab your fire resist and then stack here to avoid the tidal wave. But it really won't matter because the boss is now dead. Hooray! We won. We shall commend the only other healer that's left. Not only other, but only healer. And we'll roll for this shit, why not? I don't need that equestrian roll. And that's all the loot. We return then to the Sigmascape. Quay! 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 I'll wager the spirit was less than thrilled at being beaten at its own game. I must say, these field tests are fast becoming my favorite part of this whole experience. Welcome back, Foxy. I was on the edge of my stool watching you attempt to paint while fighting, but you soon seemed to get the hang of it. I'm glad our makeshift solution worked as intended. Our makeshift solution worked as intended because I made it work. Painting is easy, as is intending. I feel I should remind you, however, that the brush was very specifically designed with that arena and that foe in mind. Against aught else, it will avail you precisely as well as any other brush. One moment. Aye, this is Garland. That's great news, and what... Oh, they did they? Understood. We'll meet them out there. That was Jesse. Apparently Biggs and Wedge considered themselves well enough to pay us a visit. They're on their way to the yawn. Fancy a brief jaunt to the surface? No, thank you. I have data to analyze. Fine. Just the three of us, then. Yeah, Nero doesn't give a shit about people. He wants to analyze data. Quay! Look at the two of you up and about already. You gave us quite a scare. Foxy, did you come out just to see us? Of course I did. Chief, Foxy, and Alpha too. We didn't mean to drag you all the way from your work. Nonsense. After all you've been through, how could we not come running? Speaking of which, should you even be walking? The Chirurgeon will probably want to have words with us later, but we couldn't just lie back and let you brave the rift on your own. Do you even have enough hands for that much work? Who's taking care of all the little jobs? Ah, yes, the little jobs. It does seem that you two have spoiled me. I only recently learned that the kettle does not, in fact, fill itself. But we're muddling along somehow. Foxy has been a pillar of strength, as always. Alpha has proven to be a stalwart companion. And Nero has been invaluable and insufferable in equal measure. As for the test subjects themselves, they're certainly formidable, but Omega's experiment hasn't broken us yet. So go home, heal, and don't come back until you've fully recovered. It's good to hear that everything's going well, but you call us the moment anything goes wrong. We'll be out here in a wink, even if we have to crawl. Listen to me, Alpha. That uniform you're wearing makes you an official employee of Garland Ironworks. That means you can call on us whenever you're in trouble, and that we can call on you. It means you're not alone. Biggs and I have to go away for a while, so I want you to look out for Foxy and the Chief for us, alright? Oh, it's so cute. Queen! Oh, before I forget, we brought you something to put a spring in your step. You can't fight Omega's creation on field rations alone. Infusions of strength. Sure, whatever. Now, what have we... This next one seems strong, but exhibits no other notable traits. How dull. The true challenge is this fourth opponent, but if I can find the patterns hidden in the chaos, then knowledge and reason will prevail. For even the most random actions are products of an underlying logic. One has but to isolate the behavioral triggers. Ugh! Tastes like salt water. Why would... I need to take a closer look at that card. Alpha Group shows signs of recovering from recent trauma, initiating action to maintain desirable stress levels. Uh-oh. Watch out, Nero. We appreciate you coming up to meet us. After imagining everything that could go wrong in there, it was a relief to find you quietly getting on with the job. We'll have to hurry up and get well. Alpha and the Chief have already gone back in, so don't let us keep you. Our colleague over there should be glad to help you make the descent as soon as you're ready. This dreadful experiment may have a way to go yet, but if you keep taking it one battle at a time, you'll be fighting Omega before you... I mean, it will all be over before you know it. Say the word to our colleague over there, and he'll help you make the descent into the yawn. Must be talking about this guy. Can I lower you into the rift, madam? I may not be of much use in battle, but I can at least do you this small service. Yeah, sure, let's go. You okay there, Nero? Quay? Thank you for joining me up there, Foxy. I know it meant a lot to Biggs and Wedge. Ah, back are you? We should return to the task at hand. Everything all right, Nero? You look a bit green around the gills. The kettle was full of salt water. Not the best stuff to brew coffee with, as it turns out. Really? Well, it wasn't my doing. Of course not. That would involve you filling it. Ugh. The water came from Alpha, created by one of those cards of his. It was very thoughtful of him to make the effort, but next time I'd prefer a beverage that didn't leave me feeling ill. In any case, you can handle support for the third battle on your own. I want to begin preparations for the fourth. Fair enough. Right, Foxy. Your next foe is simply known as the Guardian. Unlike that ordeal with Charternuke, this battle promises to be relatively straightforward. Courage and steel should be enough to win you the day. What about the monitor that attacked Nero? Is he not going to say anything? Just leave me be. I'm having enough trouble concentrating as it is. The file I found on the Guardian says it was a weapon employed in the defense of an empire's capital city. That should give you some idea of the extent of its capabilities. Quay? Alpha seems concerned about Nero, but otherwise eager to proceed. You may enter Sigmascape version 3.0 whenever you're ready. And you know we will. The Guardian will transition between a host of different combat programs. Try to keep track of which does what. Well, they said that this one would be more straightforward than the last one, but in all honesty, it's really not. It's not hard. It's just not as straightforward. Looks like he really wants to main tank, so we're gonna let him. Alright, he is loading the Air Force program. Oh, thought I ate that. Guess I didn't. Okay, watch out on the sides of the platform for missiles. There will be safe spots that you can stand in. Okay, and somebody just ate one. Dataluma program is now running. Ow. I forgot about that. Ugh, paralysis is so annoying. Okay. Thankfully, the main tank seems to have everything under control. Oh, it's Dataluma again. Alright, all these meteors have to be soaked. And as it turns out, we won't get to show off much of this boss because connectivity issues. Actually, wouldn't have been able to show off much of it either. Anyway, because we're damaging him too much to see most of the mechanics. So, I guess indirectly, Sid was right. He's way more straightforward. And down he goes. Alright. Well, you're the only one left, so you get a commend. And we'll roll on all this shit. Well, that was a bit disappointing, but you know how it is with the internet. Queen. Alpha knows how it is. Done, are you? Then it's almost time. Congratulations, old friend. Judging by the lack of smoking holes, I'd say you have a natural talent for avoiding laser beams. And this is what passes for a straightforward battle in here. Phantom trains, possessed pictures, and now this Magitech-like machine. Assuming it was real, the realm the Sigmascape is based on must have been highly advanced in both the arcane and the mechanical arts. 'Tis truly a pity we cannot identify the test world's origin. Imagine how much we might have learned from such a civilization had we encountered it under different circumstances. But now is not the time for such idle thoughts. The next battle will be the last for this world, and Nero should have a strategy to share with us by now. Nero still seems unwell. How much of that coffee did he drink? This is it. The final battle to conquer the Sigmascape. We put together a profile of your next opponent. You've encountered some fantastical foes in here, but this time you'll have the novel experience of fighting an actual person. His name is Kefka, and he's a jester. According to the data, his preferred mode of fooling didn't just bring the house down, but the whole world. Apparently, he found comedy in the tragedies of others, and condemned countless thousands to death for his own amusement. And a jester should bring such misery, 'tis almost amusing. Nevertheless, we must treat this villain with all seriousness. His rise to godhood and subsequent rule over a shattered world is clearly documented in the records. Kefka is a formidable mage and a cunning one besides. Your tactics must account for both his power and his trickery. You've been working on a solution, yes? Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Have you ever known me to do anything by halves? The jester's face paint is a mask for his intent. If you only watch the surface, you'll be fighting at a disadvantage. To put it bluntly, Kefka will seek to deceive you. Even as you predict his actions and adjust your position, his true attack will reveal the feint for what it was. This is where things become interesting. I've tuned this monitor to allow me to observe the Sigmascape with greatly enhanced clarity. If I observe a discrepancy between Kefka's behavior and the impending attack, I will endeavor to warn you. The timing will be critical, of course. How confident are you of this strategy? I predict a 50% chance of success. Any delay, however slight, in reacting to his feints will render my warnings all but pointless. Isn't it exciting? There's no safe way to practice this, hero. We must test our tactics on the field of battle. Well, we've been in worse spots. I'm afraid he's right. I'll lend you all the support I can from the side. Make what preparations you need and head on to the Sigmascape. We can't let this jester have the last laugh. Embrace your destruction. It is the fate of all things. But people can always rebuild and new lives will always be born. A fragmented conversation that accompanied Kefka's data. His was the first line, but there was no mention of who uttered the reply. In life, there is always hope. How predictably forthright of you. I'm sure it was a hero much like yourself who gave the original response. Go on, champion. I tire of waiting for the fun to begin. Still no mention of the monitor that attacked him. Are you asking my permission? By all means, let's get things underway. Let's see this through, Foxy. One battle at a time. Quick! Quick! Alpha is clearly poised to spring into action. Well, let's not keep him waiting. I wield the greatest power in existence. You may as well be dirt on the bottom of my boots, or the dirt stuck to the bottom of that dirt. I will destroy everything. I will create a monument to non-existence. And not to spoil anybody's expectations, but this is not the entire Kefka fight. only part of it. If you want the whole one, you have to do the Savage or Extreme version, I forget which. Maybe one day. So Kefka is a tricky motherfucker, as you're going to see. Alright, so far everything's normal. Oh my god, the Black Mage got out of his ley lines, it's a miracle. Okay, I have to move. Oh, you figured out my tells, have you? Or have you? Alright, everything's starting to change. Okay, now normally you'd run out of this, except with the question marks, you have to stay in, because it's opposite. Run into the lines. I should have gone to that one, but oh well. Okay. Now the fight becomes a little bit more complicated, because you have to watch out for this statue. Okay, we're fine. It is very easy to get blown off the side in this part. Oh, why did I hallowed ground so well? Okay, he's going to teleport. And you'll have to be on the side to avoid that. Generally, just never be near the edge in this fight. Unless you need to be close to the big green ball that you'll likely see soon. Like that. Oh, nope, it switches sides. There we go. Alright, now we're going to be watching these guys. And you'll move to the opposite side of where you see that energy ball. But he can also trick you with that as well. Okay, we're good. Okay, look away. We're good. And he's about to die anyway. And that's it for the normal Kefka fight. I lost? How could I lose? I just can't believe it. Maybe one day I'll show you the harder Kefka fight. But that day is not today. I'd have to find a whole ass group. It would be a thing, that's for sure. Oh god, caps lock. That's it for the Sigmascape. That's it, isn't it? She won! This contest has been decided. Alpha Group is victorious. The Sigmascape test world will now be erased. Come on, we should go and find Foxy. Nero! Talk to me, man. Are you hurt? You could say that. I had a visitor while you were attending a little Ironworks reunion. Omega. Damn it, we never should have left you alone. No matter what not after what happened to Biggs and Wedge. As if I would trail along behind you, like some sniveling lapdog. No, I chose to remain, and behold the results. This was my victory! It was my ingenuity that defeated these foes. Even your precious warrior of light was just another variable in my grand experiments. Alright, Nero, save your strength. I'll fetch Foxy and Alpha, and then we can get out of here. Garland. The next round is yours. But you can't keep holding back. It's time to unfetter that brilliant mind of yours, to do what must be done. And I'm not just talking about what becomes of Omega. You cannot preach freedom through technology and keep yourself locked up in chains. Sid holds himself back, afraid that he might become his father. Another battle won. Thy might knoweth no bounds, child of man. The Sigmascape has been terminated. Congratulations, Alpha Group. Congratulations, Foxy Games. Consistent with previous performances, you have once more defeated a foe of vastly superior combat capabilities. I have constructed a theory to explain this phenomenon. In order to conserve life energy, you subconsciously limit your output during standard activity. I have taken this factor into account when calculating your potential, but judging by the wild fluctuation in values, is it possible your limits are exceeded by an unpredictably high degree when engaged in battle? Current data unreliable. Accuracy of further experiments may be compromised. Recalculations necessary. You will exhibit your full potential, unrestricted by self-imposed limits. Prediction. Placing subject in mortal peril will facilitate the collection of desired data. Reveal your power. Let me measure the extent of your existence. In precisely 180 seconds, I will terminate your life. You are to attempt escape with every last reserve of your strength you possess. Alpha, your participation is unnecessary. Do not interfere. Oh, Alpha. Curious. 'Twould seem the circumstances of thy birth taint not the purity of thy life. The seed which all mortals nurture is found within thee too, Alpha. As for thee, Omega, after the passing of eons, is this truly the extent of thine evolution? I have glimpsed the core of thy wretched existence, and judge that my guidance here is no longer needed. You're just gonna bail on me, Midgard Swarmer? Oh. Even I cannot fully bend the rules which governs this place. I have reached beyond my strength at last. But so be it. Such a death becomes thee not. Dragon friend! To slumber shall I betake me for a time. The incarnation I leave with thee will be mine in form, but not in spirit. Midgard Swarmer, again your actions are incomprehensible. Heed me, empty vessel. Thine all-too-clumsy effort to draw out that which, by thine own admission, defieth thine understanding is the very height of folly. Temper thy desire, trust to the results of thine experiments, and when thou hast witnessed these mortals in the fullness of their glory, then mayest thou determine if the prize thou seekest is thine for the taking. He's expended all his strength. Acknowledged. Attempt to artificially elicit potential has failed. Tend to your injuries, Alpha Group, and prepare for the next round of testing. You okay, Alpha? Foxy, Alpha! I need your help. It's Nero. He's... Twould seem we all have a tale to share, but not here. Come on, we're leaving. Midgard Swarmer, he gave up the last of his strength to help me. He'll be back. Dragons don't fade, great worms anyway. But it may take some time before we see him again. Queen. Madam, the chief has already departed for Relga's Reach. A few of our people were on hand to help him transport Nero. Oh, and I was told to tell you that Jessie expects a full report as soon as it's convenient. And by that, she generally means now. Of course. Well, let's get on in there. Qui? Foxy! I was told you'd made it out of the hole, but nothing beats seeing you with my own two eyes. In case you're wondering, Nero was taken straight to the infirmary. The chief should be back soon with news if you don't mind waiting. Chief, how is he? Not good. It seems one of Omega's nastier minions paid him a visit in our absence. He's putting on a brave face, but having seen his injuries, I'm surprised he kept going for as long as he did. The Chirurgeons confined him to bed. Even should Omega extend its next invitation, Nero won't be coming with us. Midgard Swarmer is taking a lengthy nap now, is he? And it won't be long before our base camp is lost to the rift again. When the time comes, I'll join the expedition myself. The challenges will only get harder, and you'll need someone reliable at your back. I appreciate the offer, Jesse, and I may yet take you up on it when the time comes. But let's not make any decisions just yet. I have a lot of thinking to do about what's happened and about what lies ahead. Queen. Poor thing, he seems worried. Thank you for trying to save me. Queen! Well, that got a smile out of him. I may not understand what he says, but I think we can understand how he feels. Right. Much as I'd like to stay and chat, we all have work to do. Sooner or later, we're going to have to face Omega itself. We've all seen what it's capable of. We need to be stronger. We need to be ready when Omega calls on us again. Let's make sure that we are. Oh, don't you worry. We'll be ready. Quick! I am curious about one thing. Let's go see if Nero's actually in the infirmary. Ah, the answer is no. No Nero. Oh well. But that's alright. That's going to wrap things up for this episode. In the next one, we will continue to delve deeper into the realm that Omega has made for itself, and hopefully, by that point, take it down. Until I see you again, my name is Foxy Games. Take care until the next one, everyone. Bye.